December the 13th is the end of the trail. No,
I don't. You voted no. You did that Christmas week too.
We have one tonight. We have a study session, I believe, next week. Okay, and we have one on the 13th.
If you want, I'll both make a motion.
I'm okay with that.
Jack, I don't care. Make a motion.
Pretty simple.
Well, you just won that? No. Wheels on the bus go around.
Let's go.
I'm sleeping. I'll zoom right in on you. How's that? Will that work for you? Hi, Phyllis.
Hi, Phyllis.
How are you? How was your drive up?
That speaks volumes.
I have to do a prep.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah.
8 o'clock. All right. We'll get that down.
All right. And at 8 o'clock, we swap the discs.
Good morning. Pretty much popular. Could we still come Jeremy or something? Who's the guy in the Who's the man in the
Yeah, what I thought I would do, Ruth is going to talk about temper cleanup that we had when I was going to man Birdie passed away, and then I was going to call our soccer team up with their coaches. I guess the coaches are in the back there. And
The guy right there just in, he did the girls.
okay. Okay. All right. Well, I just figured I'd have both the boys and the girls come out.
I didn't form your mind. You weren't
No, I can't make every meeting.
You see me? No. We finally found some water. And there's one, like a gallon of gas, maybe.
I've tried to make those in the past, but I don't know if I can pull it off this time. Yeah, it's pretty neat that they do that. Yeah. Let me use my good one this time. Well, I have to. I mean, that was handmade.
You see things
Soon. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. May we have the roll call?
You certainly may. Good evening, everyone. Councilmember Chuka.
Here.
Councilmember Turner.
Here.
Councilmember Miller.
Yep.
Councilmember Mendoza.
Here.
Councilmember Best.
Here.
Vice Mayor Croft.
Here.
And Mayor Marley.
Here.
Full house tonight.
All right. Introductions, presentations, and proclamations. Our first order of business is a presentation of commendation to Police Officer Stephen Angel, and I believe Chief Wynn, you will be reading the commendation itself. Okay. Come on up.
Mayor and Council, I'll just give you a little bit of background, and Officer Angel, you can come on up, and the Mayor can read the commendation. Back on October 10th, Officer Angel responded to a suicidal subject at a residence, and when he arrived, she was actually locked in a bedroom. There were children present, and he had the presence of mind to get the children away so they couldn't see what was going on, and he had to force entry into the bedroom and get her down. She had no heartbeat and wasn't breathing. He started CPR and maintained CPR and got a heartbeat back until fire arrived. Unfortunately, later she succumbed to her injuries, but in the meantime, it allowed her organs to be harvested. So through his efforts, many other people have been saved. And so we just wanted to accommodate him tonight and for his efforts and what he did and do it publicly. So the Mayor has your official commendation.
Certificate of Commendation presented to Officer Stephen Angel. You are hereby commended for your outstanding actions on October 13th, 2016. In reviving one person, your actions helped to save the lives of numerous unknown people, and that organ donation was made possible. Your compassion and empathy towards the children involved will certainly help them through this difficult time and into the future. That's the best part of being a mayor. Thank you, Officer Angel. Our next item is call to the public. Call to the public is an opportunity for the public to address the council on any issue within the jurisdiction of the council that is not on the agenda. Public comment is encouraged. Individuals are limited to speak for 3 minutes. Total time for call to the public may be up to 30 minutes per meeting. Council action taken as a result of public comment will be limited to directing staff to study the matter, scheduling the matter for further consideration and decision at a later date, or responding to criticism. And please remember, we do have a 3-minute limit on that. Is there anyone wishes to speak to call to the public? Yes, ma'am.
My name's Kathy Rafters. I was here 2 weeks ago regarding the racetrack, the proposed track. And since that time, I have looked at the meeting online where Mr. Brinkley was here and explained a lot of the issues that I had concerns about. And also on that video, one of the council members suggested people look at the general plan to, educate yourself, and I have done that, and which just raised more questions. And there's so many people on both sides that have a lot of questions. There's a lot of misinformation out there, And so I would like to see, I don't know how the proper way to do this is, but to suggest or see if we could have some sort of a public forum at a large venue where more people are aware of it and could maybe submit questions ahead of time in a respectful manner, and everybody's concerns could be addressed factually instead of on Facebook and letters to the editor and such.
Okay,
That's my suggestion.
thank you. That would be a novel thought, factual things on Facebook. All
Or
right,
letters
thank
to the
you.
editor,
Yeah, letters
or
to the
opinions,
editor. Yeah, all right.
the opinion page, yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Matter of fact, at our last meeting, there was several things that were said that I spoke with our town attorney, and she said I could not answer them at that time. And so unfortunately, we have 2 weeks that pass between someone saying something that's not factual. Anyone else for call to the public? Okay, call to the public is now closed. Response to the public. Response to the public is an opportunity for the mayor to inform the public about how town officials address matters raised during call to the public at a previous meeting. We had numerous comments regarding the proposed motorsports facility at Old Home Manor. I wanted our public to know that as a council, we've received numerous emails and letters, both for and against the proposal. As in all things, town council has to weigh both pros and cons before we make a decision. It'll probably be January before any decision is made. It's still got to go quite a bit through the process, and at that time, if Mayor Croft wishes to deal with things in a larger venue, however he wishes to do that, that'll be up to him. But I wanted you folks to know that yes, we've received input on both sides of the fence, and there's a number of things. So, continuing onward, current event summaries and reports. This item is for information only. The mayor, any council member, or town manager may present a brief summary or report of current events, or ask a staff member to provide the same. Presentation on information requested by the mayor and council will be made, and questions answered. No action will be taken. First item is status reports by the mayor and council regarding current events. Do we have anyone on this side that has committee reports? Yes, ma'am.
I have a committee report on the Economic Development Committee. We met last week. We haven't met in quite some time, so there was a lot to discuss and catch up on. We did create a priority list and are in hopes to meet twice monthly. At this point, it appears that that is going to go in the direction of Mondays at 4 p.m. And but I haven't yet received confirmation, and we'll let all of you know as soon as we get that in writing. Our next meeting will focus on the subject at the top of our list, which is current and future development at Old Home Manor. We look forward to having input from staff, and we'll keep council updated as we proceed.
Okay, thank you. Any other reports on this side? Any reports on this side? Okay. I believe Ruth Mayday will be doing a report on the town cleanup. Come ahead, and if you would do that, Ruth, and then I'll do the mayor's report. Yes, ma'am.
Excuse me. Good evening, Mayor and Council. On October 21st and 22nd, the town held its annual fall cleanup. This year, we hauled away 116 tons of trash over a 2-day period, filled every dumpster, and again, had to turn people away. But all in all, it was a very big success. Everyone was cooperative, and everything turned out great. We would like to, on behalf of James Wilson, who is our former code enforcement officer, we would like to thank both Michael Lopez and Kenny Triboulet for the lending us James Club and Richard Hennon for the days to operate backhoes and bulldozers and other heavy equipment so we could mash more trash into dumpsters. So without their help, this would not have been nearly the success and run as smoothly as it had.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. Other items as far as the mayor's report, I wanted to just notify everyone that wasn't aware of it. Norma Bennett, or Birdie from Birdie's Barbershop, passed away, I guess, a couple of days back. And Birdie was a regular attender at our call to the public. And as I told her more than once, she's the only woman I ever trusted with a straight razor next to my throat while she was talking about the town's sewer cost. Neat kid. We're going to miss her. Also, I wanted to acknowledge our soccer teams, both our boys and girls soccer teams. If any of our soccer team members and coaches and their parents would please come up, we'll try and get a shot of you here.
Was it slide over here? Hey, you on the end. Sit down.
All right. Can we move the girls in too? Yeah.
There's none of us at the end of that.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. And I wanted to hold up a picture. Our girls got their first championship this year, and the boys have got one of many, right? Excellent. All right. One of our council members made note earlier that kids hate their coaches till they win a championship, and then they're pretty happy. So, all right, congratulations, you guys. Take care. All right, well, moving on to our consent agenda. Oh, yes, sir. One more item. Birdie and the soccer teams. Okay. Consent agenda. All items listed below are considered to be routine and may be enacted by one motion. Any council member may request to remove an item from consent agenda to be considered and discussed separately. Does anyone wish to remove any of the consent agenda items? No? No? All right, Ms. Lewis, may we have the consent agenda?
Most certainly. 6A, consideration and possible action to approve the first final plat amendment to the Mahoney Acres Unit 1 plat. B, consideration and possible action to, 1, accept resignations from Mayor Chris Marley and Vice Mayor Darrell Croft from the Roads and Streets Committee whenever they are offered. And 2, appoint Councilmember Corey Mendoza and Councilmember Jack Miller to terms ending June 30th, 2019 and June 30th, 2018, respectively, upon the acceptance of Mayor Marley's and Vice Mayor Croft's resignations from those positions. C, consideration and possible action to accept the October 11, 2016 regular meeting minutes. And D, consideration and possible action to accept the October 18, 2016 study session minutes.
All right, the chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve consent agenda items 6A, B, C, and D.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item 7, action items. The council may vote to recess the public meeting and hold an executive session on any item on this agenda pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A3 for the purpose of discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney. Executive sessions are not open to the public, and no action may be taken in executive session. Item 7A, consideration and possible action to approve the final plat for the North Chino Business Park condominium plat. Ms. Mayday.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Before you, you have the proposed plat for the North Chino Business Park condominium. This is located on the west side of State Route 89 and between 3 and 4 North. There we go. This is the location of this parcel.
I believe that's the Mahoney Acres.
Nope, sorry, wrong one. Sorry. There we go. This is the location of the parcel that is currently zoned commercial heavy. The land use designation is commercial multifamily. The proposed plat, I have given everyone a hard copy of it because it's pretty tough to read. Basically, the proposal is to divide 2 existing buildings into 3 units. There are 2 common area tracts, and there are exterior tracts for all 3 units. This is a typical business plat for a condominium. These are typically done in this fashion. If you look at the second page, it will show you the division of airspace or the interior space of the condominium, and shows the what actually is being divided is from stud to stud and floor to truss.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the area that is being divided into these condominium units. People have asked, how can we have a commercial condominium? Typically, you say condo and people think one of these sorts of things. In fact, a condominium is a form of ownership rather than a form of structure. Condominiums, each state differs slightly in how they define a condominium, but the fundamental similarities are that you have certain spaces that are held in common, which are the common areas, clearly, and then each subdivided unit is an individual unit owned by a specific individual. All of the common areas are owned by all of the owners of the individual units. So it's not a matter of whether it's a residential use or commercial use, but rather the form of ownership that the property is held in. So this, just for an example, is a office condominium plat in Virginia. You can see it's the same concept here. All of the structures are divided into units, and then the parking lot is the common area. Similarly, we have industrial condominiums. This one you can see, this is basically a unit in an industrial condominium. These are all the parking stalls. There I am. These are parking stalls, and these areas are held in common for the use of all of the tenants or unit owners. The applicant is here, Mr. Watkins, and his attorney, Paul Roberts, is here as well. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have, and I'm sure they'd be happy to answer any questions that you may have of them.
Okay, thank you. Are there any questions on this side? No? Any questions on this side? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for the expanded view also. As you said, those were a little hard to read in the packet.
I think we're going to require larger or heavier fonts.
All right. Okay, thank you. Would the owner care to address the council? Nope? Okay. All right. They don't have any questions. Life is good. Thank you. All right. The chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the final plat of the North Chino Business Park condominium.
I'll second it.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you for your
Thank
time,
you
sir.
for coming.
Our next item of business is item 7B, consideration and possible adoption of Resolution Number 16-1093, approving the form and authorizing the execution and delivery of a loan agreement with the Water Infrastructure Finance Authority of Arizona, WIFA, delegating the determination of certain matters relating thereto to the town manager of the town, authorizing the taking of all other actions necessary to the consummation of the transactions contemplated by such a loan agreement and the resolution, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Duffy, that sounds pretty severe. Hopefully you will tell our audience what this is really about.
Well, actually, and I do actually have some really good news for council, but this all relates to our Center Street Sewer Line project. As you know, the original estimate that we had was less. We borrowed less money than we needed to borrow more money because the project was more than we had originally anticipated.
Mm-hmm.
So what's happened since then? Back in November 15, the council approved a WIFA loan for $515,000, and WIFA graciously gave us a grant, or they call it forgivable principal, of $250,000. On March 8th, we approved an engineering contract. The council adopted the ordinance changing the mandatory hookup policy. And then on September 26th, council approved the WIFA loan application, which is the loan we're approving tonight for $640,000. The project went out to bid around September 30th. Michael Lopez and I went down to WIFA on October 19th. Michael did a wonderful job presenting in front of the board, and they approved the loan unanimously. And that included some more forgivable principal, actually. October 26th, the bids were received, and actually the next agenda item will be staff's recommendation on approving those bids. And tonight, we're at the point where you'll award the bid, and you'll approve the loan documents, essentially executing the loan documents. But the numbers looked really good, and I apologize I didn't get these in your packet, but WIFA has never been in a situation where they had two loans, and I just had conversations with them finally today, so I prepared them as soon as I had them. But let me just emphasize the yellow highlighted part. Essentially, you know, we had the project design from Lion for $60,000. We have the recommended bid of $792,000. We're going to have some inspection, testing, and as-built work, and we're just putting $50,000 as a placeholder for that. And then, of course, closing costs on the loan are going to be about $15,000. So our total project is coming in at $917,408. Our original projection, of course, was $565,000, so we're about $350,000 more, all said and done. And we have solid numbers. But when you break out the three, we actually took out three loans, one for the engineering and design for $50,000. The original basically was $325,000 a loan, $250,000 in forgivable principal. And then this one, we're not going to use the whole $640,000. So we're only going to use $108,000. We're going to only use $217,000 of it, although we're going to approve the $640,000 because all the loan documents, and that's what WIFA approved. But we're only going to use about let me take that back, almost about $289,000 of it with all said and done. They're going to give us forgivable principal they authorized up to $312,000, but we're going to do it 50-50. So for every dollar, we're going to get 50 cents of forgivable principal. They're still a little bit tentative because I've never worked this through, so that might change, but it's close enough that they think it's going to be very, very close to that.
Okay.
So all in all, we're going to borrow $524,000 with all three loans, and we're going to get $383,000 in forgivable principal. So essentially, we're getting 42% of the project as grant funded on it, and the town had to put in 1% because the engineering contract was more than that bid. So here's how the loans work out. These are the three loans for the $524,000. The interest rates, the 1%, because it's such a short term, it's only a 5-year loan, and then the other, and you can see interest rates have ticked up a little bit. So but our payment still is the $40,000, and that was really close to what we projected originally. Our total original estimate was we'd owe $325,000 at the end of this project. We're going to owe about $524,000, so it's actually $200,000 difference is what we're going to have to pay back at the end of the day. And if I just did down at the bottom We have about 88 homes left in Molly Ray, and this is not including anybody else connecting up and down Center Street. And if they all pay $6,000, we'll get $528,000 back. Their annual user fees will be $67,000. Our payment right now is only going to be $40,000. So once they're built, this project will totally pencil and pay for itself. Those users alone will eventually pay for it over time. But I thought that was just really good news. WIFA really came to the table. When we initially applied, they said, well, we never have given forgivable principal for people coming back and asking for more money. Well, they basically gave us 50% of what we offered. And I think that's because of they really want to see this project done. Environmentally, it's really important for them to do it because getting more people on sewer is better. So, you got to really give them a lot of thanks for what they've done for us. So that's all I have, unless you guys have any questions.
All right. Not a question, but just a comment. WIFA has really been good to us. They, I know when we first talked to them, and they said, well, we've got, rates and forgivable principal for distressed communities, and they've been really helpful to us. So.
Yeah, they have been a real good partner for the town of Chino Valley. They've worked really hard, very professional staff, and so.
You bet.
It's been really good.
Any questions? Yes, sir.
And so this that you just described to us right now with the total and the way the bid came in, that covers everything that we had in that project, all the, I would say, well, here comes Michael, so he knows exactly what I'm talking about.
I'll let him answer that.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Yes, Mr.
That's
Turner,
everything.
obviously,
Okay.
we're very aware of your sensitivity to the project and making sure that we're getting it done, completed as a whole. So yes, it includes everything that was included in the original contract. So they'll go in, they'll put the sewer in, they'll do the deep sewer, and they'll come back and rebuild our road, and then we'll hold that over until spring, in which time they'll chip.
Okay.
So soup to nuts, all done, all culverts, everything done, and squared away at the end. So
Great.
Okay, thank you. Did you have a question,
Michael,
Corey?
this also included improvements for add-ons later?
No.
Did we do anything
No,
in that
there's no
department?
add-ons.
Okay.
Essentially, we're going through, we're cutting the road up, the road's gonna get destroyed. They're gonna bring in a big old excavator that's just gonna tear up the road. So we're gonna have to rebuild the road. And then also, because we're trench boxing, they're gonna cut through all the culverts that we have along that road. So it includes bringing those culverts back in, putting in new ones. It includes hauling out some material and bringing some AB in, establishing that road base again, and then coming in and chipping it. And that's finished, soup to nuts. Everything's done. At the end of the day, we walk away, we have a completed road, all finished grades on our manholes over there, all of our culverts are there, and we've addressed every issue along that way. Hopefully walk away with a better product than what we have, but it is gonna be the same product. Now we're able to, and we spoke about this before, now we're able to actually put the crowns in where we want, put the cross slopes in where we want, instead of just right now where it's all over native and it's just built up over the years. So we'll take that into consideration as we move forward.
All right. Yes, sir. Mr. Best.
When you said there's nothing, we're still putting in the tie-ins for these 28 homes along the way if they decide to tie in.
Absolutely. That is one item that we made sure we included. So we went through and identified every parcel along the way and made sure that every resident that had access to that sewer line would have a stub out for their property. In some cases, we have three, where we have properties behind properties, but we wanted to make sure that when we're done, at the end of the day, we're not going in and cutting up this road to get another house on. It's there, it's on the right of way, they just have to tie in and away they go.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. No further questions?
And,
Yes,
and
sir.
Michael, also, you and I talked about Road 1 West going south.
Yeah, we did explore that briefly, Joe and I, as maybe an alternative if we wanted to expand the project in order to get the full $640,000. We didn't get any further than that because we were trying to be sensitive to the amount of money that we were asking for and financing, so we haven't explored it. But we do have the possibility, based on the design, to be deep enough to reach that mobile home park. And so, I mean, we would love to get them to the table and start having that conversation.
So as the design is right now, it will be deep enough?
It will.
Okay.
It will be. It's all relative now on where their septics are. We're assuming their septics are nearby and we're not bucking grade too much, but that line's pretty darn deep.
Okay, excellent.
All right.
Mr. Turner, on that subject, I did broach that with WIFA, and they have not given me a determination whether we can even go down that road because we just came in with this project, but they're going to review it. And if they give us the green light, then we'll just bring it back with our cost estimates and let you guys decide if you want to use the remaining forgivable principal and loan funds to do that project. So,
Well, yeah, and I was mainly looking at the depth. You know,
Yes.
Michael and I talked about that as far as being deep enough so that the tie-in would be there for the future.
for
So,
the future, yeah. But there is the option to use the remaining loan funds to get the project done. But we don't need to make that decision tonight.
okay.
Okay, thank you. And Joe, one other quick question. I talked with the vice mayor about this. There is some forgivable principal left over, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And that cannot be used to build a statue to a former mayor, I take it?
Unfortunately not, sir.
Okay, I
Yeah,
thought I'd ask.
It was specifically stated in the
I made a suggestion, we make it out of paper mache, so the first rain, it just melts away.
Thank you.
We'll just write his name on the sewer main.
Not on the agenda.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, ma'am, yes, ma'am. All right. I realized that wasn't on the agenda. Our attorney's gonna give me a bad time over that. All right,
You only got 2 more meetings.
only 2 more meetings. All right, well, if there's no further questions, the chair will entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, recommend approving resolution number 16-1093 related to the loan agreement with WIFA.
Second.
I have a motion and 2 seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Next item, item C, consideration and possible action to award the bid and construction to Earth Resources Corporation in an amount not to exceed $792,403.05 for construction of approximately 6,000 linear feet of sewer main, culvert replacement, and road work up West Center Street from State Route 89 to Sycamore Vista Drive. Mr. Lopez, you're
Thank you
back
again, Mayor, council members. So just to elaborate on what we spoke about briefly with Joe, we got the bids in, and I apologize, as with Joe, we were trying to get all of our information together prior so that you guys had a few days to digest the material, and we weren't able to do so waiting on WIFA. So I sent this email out to Ms. Gripman, our town manager, to pass on, and unfortunately with her hectic schedule, that didn't happen. So I brought you guys a copy of that attachment, basically outlining what the bids were and what the alternatives were for those bids. And the first thing I want to point out as you read through those numbers is the comparative cost of our engineer's estimate, excuse me, to those bids. And what you can see is we were right around 1.3 million of the engineer's estimate, and we have bids ranging from 1.39 down to 800,000. So that's, from an engineering point of view, that's really what you like to see. You want to be somewhere in there. You don't never want to be lower. You always want to be conservative and being higher. That way, when the bids come in, you know you've done your job. You've vetted and brought the most to the table, so that you're not shocked when you get a $2 million estimate on a $1.3 million engineer's estimate.
Right.
So, and then just reading through the numbers, you might see, well, why is Earth Resources so low? Why are they so far beyond the high number there, or the large estimate? And I mentioned this last time we spoke about this project. This is a winter project, and generally in winter, construction really slows down. And when you're a company that deals a lot in road work or chip seal and pavement work, and you have underground work, but your bulk of it's in that area. They're looking for jobs in the winter to keep their guys busy, to keep the process going. So you generally get real aggressive bidding during that time. If we had 3 or 4 of these projects going at a time, you would see these numbers go up a lot more. But now that we only have a few, contractors are looking for work, we were able to get that aggressive bid in. I spoke with the contractor to make sure that he was fully aware of what he was in for and what was outlined in the contract specs and plans, and they are fully aware that they're ready to deliver this product for that price. I've worked with this contractor in the past. I'm confident in their ability to perform the work. perform the work as required for the specs and plans, and then we'll also be with them along the whole way, making sure that everything's getting done in accordance to those specs and to any other requirements. So Earth Resources came in, like I said, at around $792,000, just under $800,000. Their deductive bid alternative, and this is an issue that was also brought up, to rebuild the road was about $180,000. I've asked my staff to kind of come together and bring some numbers together to us so I could bring to you and show what it would take for our in-house production or in-house construction. And unfortunately, I don't have a elaborate spreadsheet to share with you, but I'd be happy to sit down with you after this meeting or at any future date to discuss those numbers. But what I gave you there was our rough estimate for that work. And you can see we're about $158,000 to do that work. That does include labor hours, and that does include temp work and the like. So we're roughly about, $22,000 difference between having the contractor do it and having our guys do it. And based on that, and based on the low base bid number, Public Works would recommend that we go ahead and award the full bid, the full project, and just have them do the whole thing. We need to be sensitive. Of course, I'm sensitive with time and labor. We guesstimate about 4 weeks for this project for our guys to do it, about 30 hours a week. We cannot devote 100% of our time to any individual project at this point. We just don't have the manpower. So this doesn't include any work that would not be done during that time. So you're looking at 30 hours, around 4 weeks, so about 120 hours worth of work where we're not potholing, where we're not cleaning ditches, where we're not cutting trees, or any other maintenance that is required along our roadway. So again, that's why I bring that to you, so you guys can see kind of where we're at with the numbers. It's not a true accurate estimate just because we weren't able to come up with a solid number for hauling off material that will be taken out. In the typical sense, in previous projects, what we would do is we'd bust up our road and then build on top of it with our new road. In this project, so that we don't adversely affect anybody drainage-wise, we're actually hauling material out, so we're coming down 6 inches of the existing ground, and then we're building it back up. So at the end of the day, our finished ground of our roadway is going to be roughly where it was before. That way we're confident that we're not affecting anybody adversely with drainage. So where the water goes now, the water's always going to go. There's not going to be any backup effects, there's not going to be any new conveyance effects along the road, and we were real sensitive to that fact because after all, at the end of the day, if we leave that road in any kind of condition that isn't current, we will be scrutinized and we'll have a lot of angry residents coming and visiting us. So we wanted to be sensitive when we designed this project that was the case. So again, I leave these numbers for you guys to look at, and again, it's our recommendation at Public Works that we award the base bid for the full amount and get this contractor in. He's ready to go, and we'll get this thing done. We'll get this pipe in the ground for us.
Excellent.
Okay.
Any questions on this side? Any questions on this side? No? All right. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to award the bid and construction contract to Earth Resources Corporation in an amount not to exceed $792,403.05 for the construction of approximately 600 LF of sewer main culvert replacement and road work up West Center Street from State Route 89 to Sycamore Vista Drive.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and 2 seconds. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item D, consideration and possible action to approve the use of contingency funds up to $10,000 for the renovation of space located in the town of Chino Valley Library to house the human resources or HR staff, office equipment, files, and other various documents and records. Ms. Kyriakakis.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. So department heads and human resources have made great strides in improving employee relations within the town, but we have a lot more work to do. And I think by physically moving our offices to a place where a majority of the employees are will help in a number of ways in the long term. It would help us be more efficient in our management by walking around and creating that informal interaction and helping actually look at and prevent issues before they become too big. There are employees also that feel kind of uncomfortable coming to the Human Resources Department because of the physical location of where it's housed. And by creating a neutral location for the employees, I think that would also help with improving employee relations. Where we would like to move is in a location that is on the southwest corner of the library. And it's that little conference room that's in the library. We met with Cecilia Gritman and Scott Bruner, and they have graciously offered up the space, and they are in support of this move. So I don't have anything else, anything additional to say outside of what's in the packet for you.
Okay. I don't have any questions, just a statement. It's been a long time coming, and this is something that I think will be really helpful.
Yeah.
Any questions on this side?
No, sir.
No. Questions on this side? Okay. Chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve the use of up to $10,000 in contingency fund to relocate HR to the North Campus and renovate space to accommodate the department staff, office equipment, files, and other various documents and records.
I'll second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Item E, consideration and possible action to approve resolution number 16-1094, adopting recommended revisions to policy number 705, contribution of vacation and sick leave of the Town of Chino Valley personnel policy and administrative manual as recommended. Ms. Carey, yes.
So we're recommending changes to an existing policy, and the recommended changes were made through input and comments collected through the Personnel Committee that we have at the Town of Chino Valley, as well as department head input. So it is an existing policy with slight tweaks that will just make it more usable and convenient and just a more thorough policy.
Right.
I did outline in your packet some of the primary changes or the substantial changes. So I can go through those if you'd like, or I can answer questions that you may have. So whatever you prefer, we do.
I'd prefer that you just answer questions.
Okay.
I know you had a question.
I had a question or a concern. Looking at the employees donating vacation, and there's no limit at how much an individual can, and I'd like to see something maybe stop at 80 hours, 40 hours, or 80 hours, so they do keep some vacation time on their books.
Okay, so they can't go below a certain
Can't go below a
bank
certain
amount.
level.
And that actually makes a lot of sense because we're introducing the opportunity to use a portion of the sick time. So as long as we can make sure that they are saving time for themselves because they've earned it and they deserve it, that makes good sense. Right now, we informally do that. If somebody recommends donating time and they're really low in their banks, we thank them and we recommend that, we've already received a lot of contributions or donations. If you'd like, I can contact you later if they need it. And they're pretty much, they always typically say yes to me. But that's a great idea. We could do that and we could add it to the policy.
Okay, thank you.
That way they just maintain.
Yes.
They can't go below 80 hours of
Yeah, they're not putting
vacation
themselves
time.
in a position where they'll need
I hate to
donations.
see an employee run out of vacation because they all need a vacation. They need to get a couple of weeks every year or more, so,
They do, I agree.
yeah.
We'll
That's a
need
good
to
suggestion.
Get away from one another now and then. Okay, thank you. Any other comments or questions on this side? No? Any others?
I just had some clarifications that I wanted to make for the community because Laura and I discussed this quite at length because I wanted to be able to understand completely. So I just thought maybe there might be other people that had these questions as well, and Laura answered them for me very well and made me feel pacified for them, but I still wanted to share them in case anybody else is sharing these concerns as well. This is basically a policy change that allows employees to donate sick time. In the past, it was just vacation time. Now they're going to be allowed to donate sick time to another employee that's in a bad situation because of sickness or traumatic injury. And so a couple of the concerns I had was, one was I was afraid that there might be coercion in the employee area. One employee, feeling pressure to donate their time. And we discussed that. I feel that there is enough privacy involved to where an employee would not feel coercion.
But one of the things that we did change to ensure that there isn't coercion or pressure on an employee to donate is everything is processed through human resources instead of the supervisor.
There we go, yeah.
Everything is managed by human resources. We collect all the donations. They're kept confidential, and other employees will not know what their coworker has donated.
And then another concern I had was that there was definitely an accountability process to make sure that there was no, that there was legitimacy here, that there wasn't someone that was staying home, and just banking on all these donated hours, and actually they were just well and fine eating bonbons on the couch. So,
yes,
there is a process to make sure that that's done as well. And then I was also a little bit concerned about the financial end of it, because, in our budget, do we plan for the sick time to be used? And Joe also assured me, as did you, that the impact is very minimal to our financial budget.
It really is. I actually met with Tiffany Resendez, who is the HR analyst, and she's been with the town for many years. So she actually has a history of who's utilized this benefit. And we've actually only had, since 2010, 3 people, actually 4 people, utilize it. So it's less than 1 a year. And it's not a substantial impact, but when it's that individual, that employee who is in dire need of assistance, it means a lot to them. And the employees are so great about donating time and taking care of each other. It's pretty amazing.
I think
to
it
see.
sounds like a great program too.
Yeah.
And I liked the fact that you had checked with other communities and that there has been success.
Yes.
Not to say that that's our only reason to do things, but I think it's good to know that there is success in other communities when you have situations like this, that where we're going into an area where we haven't been before.
Yeah.
Vice Mayor.
This is a pretty common policy in business, so this is nothing new. It's been around a while.
Yeah, we're just tweaking it so we can control it, manage it, and it's fair across the board and kept confidential.
Excellent. All right. Any further questions? The chair would entertain a motion.
Mr. Mayor, I'm making a motion to approve resolution number 161094, adopting recommended revisions to policy number 705 of the Town of Chino Valley Personnel Policy and Administrative Guidelines Manual with the suggested changes.
Second it.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Before we go into executive session, item 8, the chair would entertain a motion to have a 10-minute recess,
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we go into recess for 10 minutes.
and then we can reconvene.
We can reconvene in executive session.
Recess.
You want a
Four
second
square
vote?
recess?
You can if you wish, yeah.
Can we take all these with us in there? Can we take all of them in there?
He wasn't thinking.
I thought
He's
you were
he's already-
taking over for him and he was gonna sit
He's
idle.
already gone, so we
When
gotta
is that
take.
happening?
Not soon enough.
Yeah. We gotta take care of him.
Who's missing?
Okay, we have to close the ballot box at 7.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
do you guys want to wait until then, or I can come in there and have Amy?
yeah, why
ballot
don't
box
you,
with Vince,
we can,
Or you can read the agenda item.
I can read the agenda
Read
item.
that. If I have, I'll just read and be out there.
Yeah.
And when I come back, we can go.
At 7 o'clock, I'll read the agenda item. That'll give you plenty of time.
Okay.
We have to read the agenda item.
At
Jamie
7.
wants me to read it at
But
7.
not till 7. Oh, not till 7? Yeah, somewhere
Or you can start
No, I wanted it earlier, but Jamie's not.
it.
Yeah, whatever.
We're trying to coordinate all the elections stuff. We have to do on top
You're
of the
good,
meeting.
you're good.
Do you need help?
No.
No? Okay.
We just need to be in another place.
Oh, okay.
So we got 4 minutes? Yeah. You can just stand up there. Let me get my Okay. All right, we'll be done.
All right.
All right. And right at 7, I'll read it.
Read it.
Read it and weep.
We will need to re-adjourn from.
Yeah, we have to ring back in.
Just going to go ahead and say, the voting polls are closed.
Yeah. I hope they all voted for the right one.
You're doing that thing like my daughter does.
Trump election, but I don't think he's going to have a lot of success.
I don't think so.
I can't do it because
Whichever one gets in will have to be a dictator.
I go, dude.
We can't run ourselves as a nation anymore. We've just lost it.
Neener, neener, neener.
Well, people don't.
Oh.
Hey, we got an hour to do this before she has to change.
Yeah, I think we can get her knocked out. This'll be a one-disc night, we're hoping. Yeah.
Actually, it's going to be 3 parts on 1 disc.
Oh, okay.
Works?
Was Jack going to bring Corey back with him when he comes back?
I hope.
We don't really know. I don't even know where they went.
One never knows.
Sending out for talking fire chief.
I'm afraid to ask.
That wasn't a Gavin kid. I read that.
What's that?
That when you inherited
Yes, she is.
sprinkler, the commercial sprinkler shit from Central Yavapai, just because we joined under one roof. We were wondering, how can you do something like that and have the water to support you?
There's Scott right there.
Okay, it's 7 o'clock, read it. Depends on which clock you look at. This one says it's already passed.
This one says 6:58, and Jamie wants me to read it right at 7.
2 minutes.
Well, she's got to the ballot box. You know when you close it up.
Yeah, she can't close the ballot box till
Still a minute to go.
right on the money.
Right on the price, right on the corner, number 7th Street.
We had a lady, Corey and I were standing out here talking before the meeting, we had a lady walk up, she says, where do I vote? And so we're explaining to her where the church is down there, and she walks off down the sidewalk, and he said, you should ask her who she was voting for.
Then I know where to send her.
You tell her where to go then.
That's cool.
You go right up here, turn right on Center Street, go about 5 miles.
Turn left at the Black Cow.
We just wanted to go out with a big bang. We don't get it.
Yeah. All 23 executive session items here.
Well, anything on the pot? Yeah.
Okay. We are back in session. Item number 8, executive session. Council may vote to recess the regular meeting and hold an executive session which will not be open to the public for the following purposes. Item A, an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A4 for discussion or consultation with the town attorney in order to consider its position and instruct the town attorney regarding the town's position regarding a contract with the Prescott Sportsman's Club related to management of the Chino Valley Shooting Range facility that is the subject of negotiations. Mayor and council. B, an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A4 for discussion or consultation with the town attorney in order to consider its position and instruct the town attorney regarding the town's position regarding a contract in pending litigation or in settlement discussions conducted in order to resolve litigation in the matter of the town versus Glenarm Land Company Incorporated et al. Item C, an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A3 and A4 for discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney and for discussion or consultation with the town attorney in order to consider its position and instruct the town attorney regarding the town's position regarding pending or contemplated litigation or in settlement discussions conducted in order to avoid or resolve litigation in the matter of Messenger Lane dedication of rights of way. Item D, an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A4 for discussion or consultation with the town attorney in order to consider its position and instruct the town attorney regarding the town's position regarding pending or contemplated litigation or in settlement discussions conducted in order to avoid or resolve litigation in the matter of a grant and agreement with the Arizona Department of Housing related to its owner-occupied housing rehabilitation program. Item E, an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A1 for discussion or consideration of employment, assignment, appointment, and salary of Cecilia Gritman as interim town manager and pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A4 for discussion or consultation with the town attorney in order to consider its position and instruct the town attorney regarding the town's position regarding an employment contract with Cecilia Gritman that is the subject of negotiations related to her appointment as interim town manager. This is going to be so good to pass this on to the vice mayor. And an executive session, item F, an executive session pursuant to ARS 38-431.03A3 for discussion or consultation for legal advice with the town attorney regarding the town's personnel appeal process and its effect on the Trout appeal. The chair would entertain a motion to move to executive session.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion we go to executive sessions for items A, B, C, D, E, and F.
Second it.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are now adjourned and we are moving.
Oh,
No kidding.
yeah.
Can you believe this? What?
Trump's leading 140 to 104.
Oh, this is crazy. Yeah, we were saying Indiana. But I thought there was like 7 states that were like, are they all in?
No, they have to hit. He has to hit 270 to win.
Where's he now?
140,
Ooh.
104, 109, something like that.
Where's Clinton?
Swing states, that's what.
109. He's leading with 140.
Oh, wow.
Okay, everybody, fire your microphones back up again so they can hear you say aye when we.
Aye, one more time or
this.
several more times?
Okay, we're back in session. Item number 9, action items resumed. After the executive session, council will reconvene the regular meeting. Item A, discussion and possible action to authorize $54,961.35 in contingency funds for Arizona Department of Housing reimbursement. The chair would entertain a motion.
Which item are you on?
Item 9 alpha. There's recommended action.
Mr. Mayor, recommend motion to allocate contingency funds to reimburse the Arizona Department of Housing in the amount of $54,961.35.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. The motion carries. Item B, consideration and possible action to appoint Cecilia Gridman to serve as interim town manager and approve an employment agreement with Cecilia Gridman regarding the same.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to appoint Cecilia Gritman as interim town manager and approve the employment agreement with Cecilia Gritman regarding the same.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
I make a
Chair
motion
would-
to adjourn.
The chair would entertain a motion to adjourn. Okay, we have the motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Meeting is adjourned.